Okay, before we get into the video, I need to take no more than a minute to address what might be coming immediately into the comments. Oh my god, this guy is a hater. Okay, so this is a film analysis channel, and it would be absurd if everything was just super positive, because that would mean everyone in the NFL and everyone in the NFL draft has a ton of success. Simply not the case. But a quarterback who might go in the first round and definitely won't be there when the third round comes around, if I'm a team, I am not going to make this pick on Sam Howell for a lot of reasons. Now again, it's entirely possible I could be wrong. A lot of people were wrong about Justin Herbert, and even myself, I wasn't that high on Lamar Jackson coming in the league as a quarterback, but he found himself with a great coach, a great culture, a very good team that was built around him, and he made enormous strides in his passing ability from year one to year two. So it's hard to account for people's intangibles and their ability to grow and develop, but I need to be honest with everything I see, and I'm going to first guess that Sam Howell out of North Carolina is definitely not worth a first round pick and is going to be a bust and a waste of a pick if he is taken in the first. That's the claim. Now stick with me because I have my reasons why, and I'll show you how I arrived at this conclusion as I went in with an open mind. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. And before we get into the film, being a starting quarterback in the NFL is incredibly hard. There's 32 spots and it's reserved for the best of the best. And being a good starter is even harder and even more uncommon. So when we look at prospects, I always like to look at their traits and specifically how I think they will project at the next level. We look for decision making, accuracy, throwing mechanics, arm strength, ability to create plays, and their frame. Now Sam Howell checks a lot of these boxes, and of course he was a very good college quarterback and seen to be a high draft pick for a lot of reasons in people's eyes, but he seemed to only digress as his star wide receivers got drafted and his offensive line regressed, and when he was forced to make quicker decisions and throw into tighter windows, he really started to show that he had a lot of good traits, but none that were elite. A guy like Will Greer, who had an electric college numbers, but never made an impact in the NFL, and to me at best, a poor man's Baker Mayfield. But let's take a look at some of the film to show you what I mean. There was just too many traits that made me think he was not going to be a first round prospect. So on this play, we're going to have an inside release seam, and then we're going to have a stick route right in the middle of the field, and then we're going to have a go at the top of the screen. And if we're looking at this pre-snap, what is going to be the best way to go about this? Well, at the top of your screen, it's going to be a longer throw because you're on the far left hash. This is into the boundary, and the corner is going to be in press, and with a one high safety, you're going to be able to read. He's only going to be a help over the top for one person. So what you're going to want to do pre-snap is look your eyes this way and then come back to the easier throw with the press man corner. But Sam Howell does not do this. This is about the simplest read you can have. But what he does is he decides to go to the bottom of the field, so he gets that part right, but he never looks off the safety. And even when he sees the safety coming over the middle, he never changes it. He never changes trajectory. And actually at the top of the screen is when the receiver actually wins the route and has the step. So we're going to see this from the back angle. He's going to take the play action and look at his eyes, look at his helmet. With a single high safety, there is no eye manipulation. It allows him to be able to cheat and get over the top and make the interception on this play. But look at the top of your screen. This is actually where the ball is supposed to go. He does have a step or two on him right now, and that is going to be the harder throw, but this is an NFL throw you have to make to the opposite hash on the opposite sideline. Have to be able to step in and make that throw. Or like on this play right here, we're going to have 3 curls on this play. We're going to have a curl at the bottom of your screen, and we're going to have 2 at the top, but they're actually going to switch landing spots. So this receiver is going to come here, and then the slot receiver is going to come to the outside. And this is the read on this play. We see press man right here, and not only does he think this is the best read pre-snap, he doesn't even look to the top of your screen. Both these guys are going to be open. He's going to try and muscle this throw in here, very similar to like a Baker Mayfield. Whereas Justin Herbert, the effortless, it's just a flick of the wrist. It's so effortless. Sam Howell, just like Baker Mayfield, really has to try and muscle in there. This causes to be inaccurate, ends up being an interception on this play when both of the receivers at the top of their screen, he had all the time in the world. If he was able to peek up at the top of the screen to see that this is the read he should have been making, he would have made make this throw, but it ends up being an interception. We can see it in this angle, how he just doesn't even look to the right side of the field, just completely eyes it down, allows the defensive end to get back in coverage, and we have an interception. And he did prove to be a lot more of a dual threat quarterback in his junior season. He was a lot better at running the ball, but he's not going to be able to withstand that. At the NFL level, he ran over a 5-flat 40. He's not going to be this dual threat guy when we have guys like Jordan Davis running much faster than him and defensive ends that are just going to be able to chase him down like it's nothing. But then you have plays like this where he relies way too heavily on his legs. You cannot get wrapped up in these situations, and absolutely do not compound this mistake with another mistake trying to force it to a receiver. I don't even think this was a throwaway. I genuinely think he was trying to complete this ball to his receiver, which you can just not have. These are not winning plays. You're trusting your legs way too much. You have to know where you're at in your where you're at with your ability, and you can't get wrapped up. And if anything, just throw the ball right at the dirt in front of you. And even when he does score a touchdown, like on a play like this, he just makes it harder on himself than he needs to because his first read isn't there, so he panics. He kind of steps up in the pocket when the pocket is absolutely perfect. Just chill out there. Your offensive line is doing a fantastic job. Steps up in the pocket, gets the defensive end right in his face. He is able to make this throw, but poor footwork and poor mechanics makes it a lot harder than it would ever need to be. Right here where he should be and reward his offensive line for doing a great job. Sam Howell right here. This is where you need to be. Please, where are we going? He's over here. He's going to make this throw really much more difficult on himself than he would ever need to. And it's going to be incomplete just because he can't be accurate with it. And even with decision making, he had less desirable footwork when I was going over his film. He likes to step back, drop, drift to the left, not step into the throw when he absolutely could, and just be inaccurate with his receivers. And it was just the questionable decision making along with the lack of frame, the lack of arm talent, really, that's not there. It's good, but it's not elite. But his decision making, especially in the red zone when you need to come away with points. We have an RPO right here. Defensive end is going to be the one they're reading on this play for some reason. Usually it's a second level RPO, but for some reason they like to read the defensive end on even passing RPOs. These are going to be the two receivers. They're both manned up. But what don't you like about this? It's going to be first and goal. And you're going to get it, but why pull this? Why not give it to your running back? There's a really good hole developing. Both of your receivers are covered, and not only that, but now you have a defensive end, a first-level threat right in your face, and then you take a sack in the red zone. This is just a mistake that cannot happen. This is why we praise guys like Mac Jones for making the right decisions, even though you're not going to be able to get the touchdown pass. What you're doing is making a winning play for your team, and getting sacked in the red zone is not a winning play. And again, we're going to see some good things and some bad things on this play. So this is probably pre-snap going to be our first read as he's going to come over across the middle on a 3rd and 10. Get as close to the sticks as possible, and there's going to be a big window right here if he can beat his man off the line. And indeed he does, but for some reason he doesn't want to just rip it in there. It doesn't look like his feet are set in the right direction. He's already looking to leave the pocket instead of anticipating this throw and just zipping it right in here, maybe like 2-3 yards short of the sticks. But go let your receiver make a play, because you're not going to be able to rely on scrambling all the time, especially in the NFL, and especially if you run a 5+40. So he's going to step back in the pocket, kind of maneuver around, doesn't like what he sees. But right here, just find a way to get it to him. I don't know what you have to do. If you want to set back up in the pocket right now and throw it in, if you want to take it in and just attack the line of scrimmage and throw it in there. But we see elite quarterbacks make this play all the time, and this is what first round quarterbacks do, but he doesn't like the looks of it. And even though he goes to the outside, you can still set up and make this throw if you're able to, but he doesn't. He takes off. He ends up getting the first down. So I really do like his creativeness and mobility in the pocket, but not in the NFL level with his 40 time, because it's just not going to get the job done. But be decisive, rip that ball in there right now. If not, make the second read. You have a wide open guy running through the middle of the field, but all in all, shows that he can be a dual threat quarterback to some extent. And really where I think he's going to struggle most in the NFL, if you can't read the full field, and if you look at this pre-snap and just say, oh, I'm not going to go here, because his receiver is going to run this little stick, little hook route, because, oh, press man coverage doesn't even look this direction. But if he even looked on the snap of the ball, the DB is going to go in a zone bail coverage, and he's going to be, this is where he really should go with the ball. Right now with the top of your screen, we're going to have a skinny post, and then we're going to kind of have like this in and out. He's going to try and hit this corner. Waits takes too long to develop, but if he was able to see that right off the bat, that at the bottom he was going to zone man turn, doesn't even look that direction. He's going to look left the entire way. He's going to step in, make this throw. Very lucky it's not intercepted, but if we look at the bottom of your screen, that's where the ball should be going. Sam Howell doesn't even look at this direction because he pretty much counted it out in his head before the ball was even snapped. And again, just bad footwork, drifting off to your left, letting the defensive lineman get right in there. You should be right in there in the side, the middle of the pocket. Running back makes a great move, but instead of Sam Howell being in the middle of the pocket, and he had much better numbers earlier on in his career when he had wide receivers like De'Ami Brown who could win the one-on-one matchups, even with elite talent playing against a team like Clemson. He was able to do much better, but like we saw, when the offensive line wasn't the best, when he didn't have the best wide receivers, especially at the college level, you really want to see your first-round prospects be able to throw receivers open, throw with anticipation, be insanely accurate, and make the team better. And it's really frustrating because you can see he does make full field progressions. Like, let's say he looks to the left of the field, doesn't like it, comes back, resets his feet, boom, fires it over the middle of the field, completion. This is a beautiful, beautiful play, but the level of consistency, he didn't put it up throughout the entire game, but he did do it during some point, so I know he can do it. If he was able to train and to grow and develop, like I said, Lamar Jackson was able to, this is a beautiful play, full field read. This is what I wanted to see, but unfortunately, I rarely saw it when I came across this film. But let me know what you guys think. I really don't like doing negative videos, but I go into every single video with an open mind. So when I go into someone's player profile, I think, okay, I give you what I see. And for Sam Howell, I saw a lot more bad than I saw good. And he's not a terrible, awful quarterback. He was a very good college quarterback, but much like Will Grier, I just don't think he has those elite traits that are going to carry him to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. And I think he is being seen as a first-round pick just because of the strength or the weakness of the quarterback class around him. But let me know what you guys think. That's what I think about Sam Howell. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these. Comment down below what you think, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, and as always, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.